It's all about the Mississippi schools. We'll recap that blowout at Starkville and look ahead to getting Lane Kiffin at 11 in the morning in Fayetteville. Coming up on this edition of the Hog Central Podcast.
This is the Hog Central Podcast, sponsored by Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. And now, here's your host, Steve Sullivan.
Welcome to the Hog Central Podcast. I'm Steve Sullivan, KATV sportscaster, along with former Razorback linebacker, team captain, and host of the Little Rock Touchdown Club. Just finished with Butch Jones, Arkansas State coach. 5 wins, 1 win away. It won't be easy to get that win from bowl eligibility back-to-back years.
Yeah, think about it, Sully. You got the Razorbacks 5-3, Arkansas State's 5-3, UCA is 6-2. Haven't had a weekend where all the Division I teams win. UAPB won.
Yes.
So that was nice.
Full disclosure, October 25th, 9:28 p.m. at Oaklawn Park and Casino, I placed the biggest bet I've ever placed on a football team.
You're in. You're good. You're good.
4.5 wins for the Razorbacks, and I'm kicking myself now I didn't go 5.5, but it just shows, if you look back to the beginning of the season, this team is 5-3 with 3 games straight coming up at home, that they've surpassed expectations.
Yeah, we talked about this on our show on the Buzz today. Did you predict you're going to get a win at Auburn? Did you predict you'd beat Tennessee at home? Did you predict Mississippi State? Probably Mississippi State.
Yes.
Tennessee? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, but I don't think so.
Auburn on the road?
Yeah.
One of those probably. So if you said, hey, at the beginning of the season, they'll be 5-3 at this point, I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be taking that in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't even think I'd be cashing that ticket so early.
I know.
I thought I might have to wait to a Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, so now you got a chance. You're probably going to beat Louisiana Tech, so that means you're in the bowl game now.
Missouri's looking good right now.
They are?
For us.
Oh, yes. I was going to say, no, they're not looking good. They're looking good for us. That's right.
Yes.
You might can get to 7.
Yeah.
And to win the bowl game, win 8.
Yeah, let's talk about the SEC right now. You have 11 teams that are 2-2 and better, which is totally bizarre.
It's been a fun year to watch. Just everybody, they're just, it's not easy to win in this league. I mean, you got a lot of tough games every week.
Let's talk about the Mississippi State game. I envisioned a Razorback offense taking advantage of a Mississippi State defense, but I didn't see them scoring 58 points or making it look that easy.
Well, they did the things that we normally do to ourselves. You fumble on the second play of the game on your side of the field. You get down to the 1. You hold. You fumble on the 1. You do all those things. And then you're right, Sully. I thought they would score. We would score. Yeah. I didn't think we would score to that degree. But you saw what a healthy Talen Green can do.
Yeah, you saw what a Talen Green can do when he gets a running game and protection.
We talked about that, Steve. We just said this offense is average if he's not running. If he's not running, and that first move, that first stop, that was like a video game.
That was
move.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I checked Pro Football Focus today, and they have one stat that rates the quarterbacks nationally just on passing alone.
Yep.
Doesn't include their running. Where do you think Talen Green is rated?
For this 1 week or for the year?
For the year, purely on passing.
60, 65, 60, 65.
8th in the country.
What percentage is it? Is it just
no? It's just they put all the stats together. There's only one SEC quarterback ranked ahead of him in pure passing stats.
Wow.
And that's Jackson Dart.
Wow, that's interesting. I would not have thought that.
Yeah.
Now, he looked good throwing, 79%, right? So I think it was 75, 79.
Think about what he's done the last 3 weeks. I mean, he hasn't missed much. He's been great in the pocket. This week he added the run, and it was so good to see. It was like going back to early in the season. I mean, he is so good when he gets outside the pocket.
And then the difference, Sully, between Jeff Lebby and his play calling. Thank goodness for us, because Sully, this game could have been much closer.
Yeah.
Lebby calls 4 run plays in a row on the goal. We stuff him 4. And how about the play calling Petrino where he fakes the run, tight ends wide open on the 4th and 1?
The team that should be faking the 4th and 1 did not.
Yeah, that's right. So, that was fun to watch. We haven't had many games. I think it was the biggest margin of victory in an SEC game since 2012.
Yeah, the MO under Coach Pittman has been, and good and bad, is you play to the level of your competition. But they, from the first series on, when they had the strip, then they got the ball, and it just looked so easy. I mean, chunk plays after chunk plays.
We don't have – listen, Sully, as long as I've been doing this for 12 years, we hadn't had many of those games. It was wonderful. And that it sets you up. It sets you up okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what can happen.
I think this Ole Miss team is really good. I mean, here's the difference between this Ole Miss team and past Ole Miss teams. Their defense is better than their offense.
Yeah, number one, I think, run defense in either the SEC or the country, and or both.
And one thing, you're going to see their offensive numbers are skewed because early in the season they had a bad schedule and they took advantage of it. They put up like 50 and 60 points. They haven't scored 30 points in a conference game, and that's hard to believe for Ole Miss. You're used to them putting up 45, but, they live in the 20s.
Yeah, they're still explosive, and I'm sure they looked at the film for Mississippi State and go, okay.
That may have been a good thing that we didn't tackle well.
Maybe so. Yeah, I was worried about their ability to pass the ball because they'd done so well against other teams, and so if you're Ole Miss, you're okay. Let's get these guys out there on the island and see what happens.
I was watching that game and wondering how long Mississippi State will keep their quarterback and number 3 Coleman the receiver.
Yeah.
Those two were hard to guard.
Yeah. And open field tackling was not good. That little screen out there, we could not defend it. We would run out there, and you needed somebody to make a tackle. Nobody would be out there.
Yeah, the plus is they've scored on everyone. They've scored on Georgia. They scored on A&M. So this is although they shoot us up, this is an offense that's used to scoring points.
That's right. So it makes this game really interesting. Sully, the sad thing, we got next 3 weeks in a row.
11
next 2 weeks after having 3 straight weeks of 11. It was like it's like Cinderella. It struck midnight. Trey Shep and I are walking the stadium there. It was pitch black dark at 6:30 in the morning. It's like, well, what are we doing here?
You really appreciate those 6 o'clock games after you get that 11 a.m. game.
Yes, it's so nice. So, whatever.
Yeah, you can stomach it a little better when you're 5-3. And you have the potential. You're going to walk into that stadium Saturday feeling like you got a shot to beat Ole Miss.
11 o'clock start, right? So it's early. Yeah. I think. Well, the line right now is only 6.5.
Yeah.
Again, you wonder what's going on there. That's respect for Arkansas and just the true evaluation of Ole Miss.
It's the SEC.
By the way, do you know what Lane Kiffin and Sam Pittman both came into the SEC together at the same time? Ole Miss and Arkansas.
Yeah.
You know what their records are against each other in the 4 years?
It's 2-2.
And you know where those 2 wins have come for each of them?
On the road.
Home.
Yeah. Yes.
So each of them have won at home. So that's good for us that we're back at home here.
Yeah. We beat them pretty badly one time. I remember up in Fayetteville.
Yeah. It all runs together.
Yeah. We could easily be 3-1. I remember being in Oxford in that 2-point conversion. Think about it. Sam Pittman's close to being 3-1.
Yeah.
And remember. Our man Hudson Clark, he burst onto the scene.
Did. Oh my God, I forgot about
with those 3 interceptions. We had 7 in that game.
It feels like it was 9 or something. No. We had 7 altogether. He had 3.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
It's like 15 years ago.
Yeah,
Hudson Clark has been in the SEC for 12 years.
Yeah, and he is still playing.
Yes, he's hurt though. So
let's talk about this game coming up with Ole Miss. This is a team we've been competitive with for the 4 years. You have Jackson Dart, and we worry more about, it seems, the bubble game and the tackling than we do striking down the field. They do have a great receiver. He didn't play last week in Trey Harris. And they haven't been overly dynamic in conference play.
Yeah, they will be tougher than Mississippi State. I think they'll be tougher because I think they run the ball more effectively, and I think Jackson Dart's a better quarterback. As good as that kid was at Mississippi State, Dart can hurt you running the ball too.
I think this is the second best defense we'll see to this point behind Texas A&M.
Yeah, they are holding opponents to 60 yards rushing a game. So again, we talked about this last week. We said, boy, Arkansas's got to run the ball. We can't. What do we have against LSU? 60 yards.
Yeah.
You can't win when you do that. So hopefully
that was a bad defense, a really bad defense. They were missing 3 defensive starters on the line.
They were,
and the Hogs took full advantage. This is going to be a different game because I'm used to Ole Miss scoring a lot of points, and the perception is when you look at their stats that they're still putting up all these points. But this is not that kind of Ole Miss team.
Well, this is an important game for Ole Miss too. For both teams, you want to have a good season. Both of them view this as a winnable game.
They're actually 2-2 in conference, and the Razorbacks are 3-2.
Yeah, they want this game too, but it's just funny how both perceive this. This is sort of a win. We can really make our season better.
I watched a lot of the LSU Ole Miss game, and I thought Ole Miss was the better team in that game. They just blew opportunities.
Yeah, that was a good game. LSU's very physical. They got athletes, they got players, and you better come ready to play with them.
Sam Pittman says, you look at all the numbers, and he goes back each game, and he's gone over it in the turnover game. If you lose the turnover game when you're Arkansas, you've been losing the game.
Yeah, Now, listen, what do we have, 5 against Mississippi State? Yeah, you're not going to beat anybody if you're the team that has 5 turnovers. And we hadn't had many turnovers. I think we'd had one fumble recovery.
Yeah, that's right.
This year, other than what we had the first quarter. So that's pretty bad. And so, yeah, it was nice to see the defense step up. And, of course, the other team contributes to that with bad decisions. But finally, for us to take advantage of it was great. When
you look at a team now that's surpassed expectations, for Arkansas, it validates what you did in the portal, because this success for this team and the way we're operating right now is, if you win in the portal, you're going to win on the field. And last year, it didn't go well. This year, apparently, they won in the portal, especially with like a Talen Green.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many wins he's going to make a difference. And, if you
well,
didn't have Talen Green, you do have Talen Green.
But, I love those two, Sully. You think about the game. Yeah, Talen Green was a key.
Yeah.
But Braylon Russell was a homegrown kid that, 175 yards. Who was it else I was going to mention, that local kid that did well? Oh, not a local kid, but a high school signee, Luke Haas.
Yeah.
One of a signee that Arkansas, not a portal kid.
Yeah, but you have to look for him.
I know. You have to have the combo. You have to have the combo.
Yeah. And, but if you look at most of the key contributors, the Andrew Armstrong and Landon Jackson.
Yeah, well, I think that's the nature of the game now. But I think you do, Sully. It's nice to have those ones that are homegrown too.
I think if you're going to win,
you have
and
to
you're
have
Arkansas,
the portal.
you got to hit with the portal. You can't miss with many of the guys you bring in.
Well, especially if you've missed on some of them that you bring in, which I think on the offensive line they struggled with that last year.
Yeah, and I think Ole Miss has gotten to the point where they're pretty old, because they've been able to, and he's been heavy in the portal, but they've been able to recruit, and they got some guys you think have been there so long, like Jackson Dart, that they recruited, but they actually got him from the portal.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I do think it's crazy, Sully. I don't think can recall ever that you've had a game where the Razorbacks have scored 4 touchdowns by tight ends. 4 touchdown receptions by tight ends.
For a team that doesn't throw much to its tight end.
Has not thrown hardly at all. And, of course, now today we hear the announcement about 2 of the other tight ends who did catch touchdown passes are gone.
Yeah. That bothers me a little, the lack of transparency. I think it was Otis Kirk asked Coach a question about someone being suspended. I wish they just volunteer the information.
I'm surprised he didn't.
Little housekeeping to begin with, and they're not.
I think normally they do that. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, Gum was a high profile transfer portal guy, right?
If you're just a fan looking, you probably these two are upset about they didn't get a touchdown pass. This Paskey comes in, just plays and gets 2.
That's what it is. Listen, there's no question. Why would 2 tight ends leave after this week? Because they didn't catch to the 4th. Yeah. They didn't catch it. Who was the other one beside Gums? What was the other one?
It was Ty Washington, who had shown some hope. I know. He got injured, though.
He has not seen much action, and so that's the way they do it now. So go somewhere else.
Yeah, I hate when they don't elaborate, because then it just leads you to believe, well, they did something bad. They violated a rule. You don't really know what happened.
Yeah.
But it could be as simple as they saw that other guy. It said, we're out of here.
Sully, there's no question in my mind. Now, it'll be interesting. I think somebody's got to ask that question and to see what he says. But I think so.
Yeah. How much difference can one lineman make on your offensive line? Patrick Kudus. He played 46 snaps, graded well, but every offensive lineman graded well last week.
Yeah, they're so bad, Mississippi State is. But you have to give him credit. He has not played one snap of a game.
Yeah.
And for him to get in and play decent again against a not a great team in Mississippi State, but hey, give him credit and played. Yeah, he said 46 snaps, played well. I watched him and again, I don't know where his ceiling is as far as talent wise, but it was good to see him get in there and play.
Oaklawn Sports is so simple to use, anyone can do it. Probably even an ex-football player.
And you can take it anywhere. Pocket size, sort of like you, Raj.
Small perhaps, but powerful, like this offer.
Sign up now for Oaklawn Sports and get up to $1,000 in bonus bets.
That's like a do-over in case you make a questionable decision.
Too bad they can't do that for haircuts.
I'm calling your mom.
Now with new and easy funding options. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
Light it. We can take people where most people cannot take them.
The generations coming together.
That place was jumping.
The Triple Option, presented by Wendy's, wherever you get your podcasts.
Where are your expectations for these next 4 games?
And Sully,
we're at 5 right now. What would be a good number for you heading up? If we just packed it up and ready for the bowl game.
I think you're going to beat Louisiana, Texas. That gets you to 6. So I think of the best chances, I think beating Ole Miss is a better chance than Texas.
Yeah.
And I think Missouri is a beatable team now.
Yeah.
Now, listen, they can beat us very easily, but I think now we've seen enough of this year to realize they're not quite as good as they were last year for whatever reason. Brady Cook's healthy.
Yeah.
He's going to be tough to beat, but I could see getting to a 7.
Yeah, I watched a little of Texas. I watched the Texas-Vandy game Saturday.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I was not as impressed with Quinn Ewers as
Manning.
All the hype. No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen Manning.
Yeah.
But he's a lot what you're going to see in Texas. It's going to be great preparation. I was impressed with the Texas defense.
Yeah.
They really shut down Vandy. I think we're going to see mirror teams in Texas and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Great defensively. And they nickel and dime you. He was like 20 of 25, and they hadn't produced any offense.
Yeah, I'm not scared of Texas as much as I was early because I think we were in the ball game with them. They're good enough to beat us by 2-3 touchdowns.
They weren't a real dynamic offense.
Yeah.
They were a lot of that bubble stuff, getting the ball out quick. And he had 2 passes intercepted that were tipped because he was trying to get them out to backs.
Yeah.
And that kept Vandy in the game. But their defense was really good.
Think about this. Our defense has done well against Tennessee.
Yeah.
The ranked number 7th in the nation. We held A&M, what was it, 24 points?
Yeah.
And the same quarterback who carved up LSU, that we were leading that team in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and give them credit last week, even though they weren't good with the yardage department. They made big plays, which is something they hadn't done in the past. They had the sacks.
Yeah.
They had the turnovers.
Big plays, yeah.
Yeah, they kept Mississippi State down as far as getting to the end zone.
Well, it's making big plays, you see, and then, of course, stupid mistakes. Mississippi State made them. The guy scores a touchdown, basically, throws the ball in the end zone.
Yeah.
Back to the 16, they get 3 out of that.
Yeah.
You get down to the 1, you fumble, you get the ball back to the third quarter. And the other, you run 4 straight running plays. I mean, you miss a field goal. All the things that we normally do, they did. Yeah, so it was nice. It was nice to see them do it.
So what's your number? You say 7? You think 7 would be?
If I'm wearing my Red Hog underwear, I'll say 7.
7.
If I'm not wearing my underwear, I would probably keep it at 6.
6, yeah. But
we'll get one of the 3.
Yeah, you like the fact that.
And listen. We can win 2 of them.
Yeah,
2 of the 3.
And I think these next 2 games, you got to approach it like we got nothing to lose. I mean, we're not the team the pressure's on. The pressure's on Ole Miss. The pressure is on Texas. We can let things fly. We can take some chances.
I sort of felt we didn't do that. Of course, LSU's a good team, but we didn't like. LSU was so good against us, but I'm like you, Sully. I think we could have opened things up a little bit more, and so maybe we can do that this week. It's going to be fun. We love to play Ole Miss because they're always great games.
Yes.
And we hate Texas, so listen. The next 2 weeks are going to be a lot of fun. Of course, you got an open weekend between.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of the fact that you got these people at home. These are 3 games you got coming up at home, and you'd like to take 2 out of 3. It's not going to be easy,
You laid an egg against LSU. You want to come back and play better. Again, Ole Miss and LSU looked on the same plane. Then we saw LSU get dominated by the Aggies. So if you're Razorbacks, say, listen, we went toe-to-toe with the Aggies. We can play with these guys.
I think 1+ now when Ole Miss, when you're looking at Arkansas, you saw, if you're looking at that old Mississippi State team, what Talen Green can do when he's rolling.
That one run by him, Sully, is probably about as much of a juke.
That's all instinct.
I'm telling you. The first he steps, and I'm thinking, okay. Yeah. And then he steps back, and then he runs around. I mean, he looked like a gazelle out there running around. Because you've always said, hey, SEC's different. You got SEC players.
Yeah.
Well, Mississippi State does it. Georgia might, and Alabama might, but not Mississippi State.
There aren't too many teams, even this season when I've watched him, when he does the circling thing.
To get to him.
Yeah.
But most likely
he's going to get out of bounds.
That's right. Yeah. Or when he turns the corner, man, he covers a lot of yards with his stride.
I give him credit because I can see him getting better. He's throwing the ball better.
He's thrown the ball, after the first couple of games. I think he's been pretty consistent on the ball.
I think he's gotten better, and I think the offensive line has to help him a little.
I think, I'm with Coach Petrino, I was like, where have the tight ends been up until now?
Yeah, they were wide open on Saturday.
I know, and they've been wide open in other areas. I don't know why that hadn't been a bigger part of the offense, but for whatever reason, it sure was Saturday.
Yeah, the goal on Saturday is we don't want Talen Green being pushed backwards for 40 minutes.
Yes.
Continually on the run.
So this will be a test as much as we've had since LSU on running the ball. Ole Miss is tough to run the ball on, so we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
The thing I worry about is protecting him, because if you look back at Arkansas stats as far as sacks, you'll look and you'll see 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and then you see for Mississippi State 0. But outside of Mississippi State in UAPB, he's been under duress.
Yeah, and listen, that was the thing that Nick Saban said about Ole Miss. If you remember, he said they've got SEC offensive and defensive linemen. That's why he thought they would be challenged for the championship in the SEC.
You do morning radio. How excited are people about the Razorbacks? Are they moved on to basketball?
Well, after seeing Friday night in Bud Walton, I think that's shifted a lot of focus. But I think losing the LSU took a little steam out. But now, okay, I think this week, listen, if you win this week, everybody's excited again. If you don't, you're like, okay, we're going to try to get to 6, and that's what it'll be.
It doesn't feel like the fact that they're 5-3 that people are that excited about this program right now.
No, I think the LSU loss cost them momentum. The way it was. I mean, the way they lost, I think we had some good momentum. Just maybe the best momentum I'd seen since in the last, with the win over Tennessee. It's like, wow, we're back. We got LSU coming in. It was probably the best week of preparation. Everybody excited. And then,
plus, you had the great times too. You had at home at 6:30. And now you're flipping the script and
you're cooking waffles in the morning before you go to the game. That's what it is. It's margaritas and Bloody Marys now.
And not just the early window, but the earliest window, 11 a.m.
It's 11 is too early for a kickoff. It is too early for a kickoff.
And to me, it's a good game. You've got Arkansas 3-2 in conference.
But it's tough on the home team to get fans there and to get them geared up. It's just tough to do. Think about that, Sully. 11 o'clock. You got to be in the stands at 10:30. 10:45 to see kickoff.
Yeah. It's all
good Lord.
This is TV. That's what TV has done too.
That's why everybody's making money. That's why we're doing this, Sully.
Texas is 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Or 11, we don't know yet, 11 or 11:35 or noon or something like that.
We get a week off, and then we know that Missouri's whatever.
What time is Louisiana Tech?
I have not heard.
That sounds like an 11:30 game.
Probably.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, listen, Sully, I'm glad we won. I was really worried about this game, and you could see if they score that ball where they drop it, they fumble, it's 44-32.
Yeah.
With about 8 minutes left, I think, in the third quarter, and you're thinking, wait a minute, they've scored 21 points just like that. So I'm happy that we took care of business. They came in with the right mental attitude. Defense, you're not. Travis Williams is not happy with the way the defense played. So he can look at it, but we got the win.
That kid is a good quarterback, though. That Van Buren.
Oh,
he can sling it.
That's what had me worried. But Sully, the good thing is that, the fact that the line is only 6.5 shows respect for the Razorback team. And it shows that they don't think Ole Miss is that much better than us. And I agree with that.
Yeah, it's something I wanted to point out, too. And Little Rock Christian old coach Eric Koyu pointed that out to me. He said, Braylon Russell is at his best when he's in the open field. And when he got going on Saturday.
He's a load to stop. He's quick for his size.
And he's fast. I mean, he went 50 yards before he had the hamstring issues.
I love what Pittman said. We asked him in the media room, the press conference afterwards. He said, did he pull his hamstring? He said, no. I don't think so. He said, I think he just ran out of gas. He did. He did say that. He's like, you act like the old hamstring. And I think he said as much too. But yeah, big game for him as a freshman. He looked like a mini Earl Campbell.
Yeah, he's a big kid, and glad to see him and a local guy grasp that opportunity. And he'll be the guy again this week against Ole Miss. It's gonna be tough sledding though against the Rebels.
But you know what? If you're a Razorback fan, man, these are fun games, man. This is gonna be a fun game to watch. I don't know if we'll win. I think we've got a good chance to win. Sully, I have to say, because we are sponsored by Oaklawn, your old 53 here is on a tear the last 4 weeks. Now, I don't mind saying, college and pro combined 28-9 for 76% the last 4 weeks.
You've got to be kidding me. That's against the spread.
That's against the spread. How about that?
Are you betting these games?
Some. It's so busy for me to get them in. I just want to get them in and get them posted. But yeah, I have been on fire. The pro and NFL. So I've been enjoying it. Thanks to Oaklawn Sports for sponsoring us.
But the time I jump onto you'll probably start losing.
I know, but I think overall I'm about 66%, which is above the national.
Hard.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But 76 the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I know.
Especially as unpredictable as college football is.
You find certain teams, Sully. Washington in the pros have been. Indiana in college has been. Solid. There's certain teams you Army has been great.
Yeah.
BYU has been great. Covering the spread.
Indiana's stunning me. I mean,
they did that with a backup quarterback this week.
Yes, and I mean
I love that coach.
They're covering the spread against everyone.
That coach is not going to be flat for anybody. I still think they have to play. I think Ohio State coming up.
They're getting their quarterback back.
Yeah, well, he had surgery.
I think they're like that Arkansas team, and Houston had, and you get to the point where you've won so many in a row, 98, where you think you're that good.
Yeah.
And
well, you look at the top. The playoffs going to be great this year because look at all the movement of different teams, and Oregon. I went with Oregon blowing out Illinois. That would turn out to be right, and Alabama bounced back against Missouri, and so I think you can see patterns after a while. But so far, 53 is. I may go 0-4 next week, but you never know.
I think these 2 weeks for Ole Miss, you get Arkansas this week, and then you get Georgia at home next week. How does your world change if you win both of those games?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's big. That's not going to be easy to do. That's a lot of effort. This SEC is tough.
Yeah,
you throw in the Texas, Oklahoma's obviously finding that out.
You added 2 teams. Oklahoma has not been a player in the whole scheme of things. But it seems like each week we have more critical games or heavyweight battles this year than we've had in the past.
It's been fun to watch, boy. I just tell you, everywhere you turn around, you've got somebody that has a chance to beat somebody, and there's a storyline. And South Carolina can step up and almost beat Alabama and Alabama. Or Kentucky starts out great, and now just they're nosediving. It's Florida, they hanging around,
And then you flip on the Vandy game against Texas, and it's a 7-point game.
They got a chance.
In the fourth quarter.
Got a chance. How about that?
Yeah.
They already beat number 1 at home. Got number whatever they were. Texas top 5. Almost have them again.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year. Well, I appreciate you, Baz.
You bet.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to the Hog Central Podcast. New episodes drop Tuesday on YouTube or listen on the go. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and every major podcast platform.